What's the haps, everybody? Big Kev from Big Kev's World coming back at you with another video, and this one, uh, I had to have a little time to process. I mean, I heard about this last night. I had to have a little time to process what I was going to say, how I was going to approach this. But if anybody hasn't heard, Vince McMahon right now is out as CEO and chairman of the board, pending an investigation. Um, all over the years, all of us wrestling fans, we've all known Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon. We've all known that character to be a little handsy with the female characters on the show. Trish Stratus, Candice Michelle, Maria Kanellis, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keebler, Sable, to name a few. So it does not shock me when I read the reports that Vince McMahon and his wife Linda McMahon are still married, but they do not live together. That does not shock me in the least. I look at it like this is not a very shocking thing, and there's a lot of conflicting reports because if you go on any website right now, they will tell you that it's hush money that Vince gave this former female employee who was a part of the paralegal team, gave her $3 million to hush about their affair. Now, not only is Vince McMahon involved, but John Laurinaitis, people power, is also involved in this situation, who is now, in the last couple of years, is now the stepfather of Brie and Nikki Bella. So, I'm going to try to dive into this as much as I possibly can. I mean, there's not a lot of facts out there right now. It's just people hearsay, allegations. I'm very old school with that. When I hear about allegations, I don't like to point the finger at somebody unless they've been proven guilty. I know some people in this world have kind of forgotten that thing. They're like, oh, they're so quick to blame. But no, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing was crystal clear that you can't judge a book by its cover unless you read a few fucking pages or read the goddamn book. You understand? I mean, you see where I'm at with this whole thing. I am kind of that old school guy where I feel like he should be proven guilty in a court of law. Now, Insider was saying that the thing between Vince and this girl was consensual. Right there is a red flag for me. Because if it was consensual, then what's the problem? What's the problem? If it's consensual and and it was consensual between that woman and Vince McMahon, if it's consensual, I know the WWE's board is doing an investigation right now. And this is what happens when you turn your company public and you have a lot of shareholders and a lot of stock, and you start messing with money. This is what happens. People get very pissed off. And I'm not going to come in on here and act like I got all the answers and all the facts for you, because I don't. I'm just like everybody else. I'm reading about what happened. Until I actually hear some real form of charges being dropped or whatever the case may be. I know Vince McMahon went on SmackDown tonight. He really didn't say very much of anything. He just said then, now, and forever and together. Apparently, he will still be running the show behind the scenes at the shows. He just will not be doing his civic duties as a CEO and as a chairman of the board right now. So the CEO right now, apparently a month ago, Stephanie McMahon stepped down. I know that she was supposed to be taking a break, but the board has announced that Stephanie McMahon, until the investigation is over, Stephanie McMahon is now the new CEO and chairwoman. They had to put chairwoman on there. Stephanie McMahon will be taking over for Vince until further notice. Now, I'm not sure if I like that idea or not, because what's up, Poston? Um, Honestly, it's one of those things where it's allegations. Allegations is one of those things that get thrown out the floor. They get thrown out the window so many times. And, I know that some people are like, well, look how Vince acted with those girls on camera. How Vince acted with the girl on camera. Him and Linda haven't been living together in a couple years. Okay. So they still married, right? They haven't been living together. So obviously they're separated. They just haven't been living together. Okay. Now, the biggest thing about the situation is because he is a chairman of the board and you have your company public, the problem is, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie did set up her own dad to get control of the company. I would not be shocked with that. I know some of y'all may not like conspiracies, but Chronicle Hill poses an interesting concept here. Because, look what they did to Triple H. Look how dirty they did Triple H with NXT. Look how dirty they did him. As soon as he had that heart problem, what did they do? They took it away, and then they put an NXT 2.0, and they changed the dynamics of NXT. They changed NXT so much that it's like Triple H is an afterthought. And then Stephanie, a month ago, was stepping down. She was going to take a break. And now all of a sudden this allegations happen, and now Stephanie's in charge? That to me seems a little fishy. Call it what you will, but it seems a little fishy. Now, John Laurinaitis, I have not been a big fan of John Laurinaitis. I don't care about Johnny Ace. Never have, never will. But I know that I read that some female wrestlers are happy about Stephanie being in charge, because with John Laurinaitis in charge, the women wasn't getting the proper respect. I don't know. I'm not back there. You're not back there. We're not backstage with WWE, so I can't confirm or deny if that's what's really going on. But what I can say is that when John Laurinaitis was gone for a while, the women's wrestling in WWE was a lot better. By far, a lot better. So with Stephanie coming in, does it change the dynamic? Are they trying to make it more of a woman empowerment thing? Possibly. But you know what? Vince has beaten allegations before. Remember the whole 92, 93, 94, the whole steroid trial? The federal government couldn't convict the man. So, honestly, even if this woman and him had a relationship, whether it was sexual, whether it was whatever the case may be, Vince McMahon is a grown-ass 75-year-old man. Which means that whoever Vince is fucking behind the scenes is no one's goddamn business. That's just how I look at it. Call me old-fashioned, but I look at it like it's none of my business. But I understand why the board has to look at it that certain way, because you got board directors, you got stockholders you have to answer to. Hey, I should have bought some WWE stock, damn it. So that could have had Vince answer to me. We still could do that, Poston. We can still buy some WWE stock. I'm just saying. Me and Poston should be in charge of WWE. How about that? Me and the Chronicle Hill should be in charge of WWE. There you go. I mean, I'll throw it out there. I think I can run that to be pretty damn good. Give me the damn chance, and I will show you that. But another less. I mean, I can understand from a board members. You start messing with stock money. You start using that $3 million. You start messing with their money. People start getting mad. Now, let me read this little. So Vince has stepped down, and he pretty much said today that whatever comes from these allegations, whatever they find, he will take the punishment no matter what. And to be honest with you, he's a 75-year-old man. What more can you do to him? I mean, Vince is. I mean, when I saw him on SmackDown earlier, he's looking a little bit ghostly. He's looking old. Oh shit, Postal's got WWE stock already. Well, fuck that. Damn. All right. But no, I mean, when I saw him earlier, he looks frail. And when I saw him in that WrestleMania and he took that stunner from Stone Cold, he looked frail then. So it's some people who loved the territories back then are laughing their asses off because they're looking at it like, here comes Vince McMahon Jr., buys a company from his dad, and basically puts all these other companies out of business. And now Vince McMahon is getting that knife stabbed to his back. And as a fan of the Golden Era, as a fan of the territories, I have to say, it couldn't happen to a better guy. I mean, you can clarify it all you want. But right now, I'm not going to say if Vince is guilty or Vince is innocent because I don't know. You don't know. These media fucktards don't even know if it's true or not. The only thing I can honestly say is, would I be shocked? No. I would not be shocked at all if it's true. However, from one article was saying that Vince shared this woman with John Laurinaitis. I guess he showed her some people power. Maybe that people power is what made her decide to come out. I don't know. I mean, if I saw John Laurinaitis, I'd go fucking gay. But that's just me. Let's see here. What article? I refuse to read CNN, so I will not read CNN. I refuse and not going to do it. And if anybody's wondering why, you know why. So this is what Vince McMahon has said. He says, I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the special committee, and I will do everything possible to support the investigation. I have also pledged to accept the findings and the outcome of the investigation, whatever they are. Keep in mind, say if the allegations are true and Vince is found guilty, what's the worst thing that can happen to him? That he loses being a chairman of the board? The man still got stock. The man still got money. And it ain't going to hurt him. It's not going to hurt him. I mean, maybe he should, maybe Tony Khan should call him and ask him what that girl's number is so we can get Tony Khan out of here as well. But that's beside the point. So Stephanie McMahon was named the interim CEO and interim chairwoman. Stephanie's said, I love this company and I'm committed to working with the independent directors to strengthen our culture and our company. It is extremely important to me that we have a safe and collaborative workplace. I have committed to doing everything in my power to help the special committee complete its work, and including marshmallowing the corporation of the entire company to assist in the completion of this investigation to implement its findings. So it's not just the money that these people are that the board of directors is pissed about. You gotta think about all that WWE stuff, be a star, all that anti-bully campaign and all this stuff. WWE has an agenda that they have to uphold. Posta knows what I'm talking about. They have an agenda that they have to uphold. And look at the whole thing with Hulk Hogan back in 2015. Instead of really looking deeper into it, they fired one of the guys who put wrestling on the map and took him out of the Hall of Fame for a couple years. If they did that to him and they blacklisted the Ultimate Warrior for so long and they done this, what makes you think WWE would not do it to Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon is no different. I mean, people are like, wow, he's Vince McMahon, da 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 da, but he's no different. He puts on the pants leg one at a time like we do. So the WWE board of directors will begin investigating McMahon in April and discovered that he paid $3 million to cover up an affair with a former employee, according to recent reports by the Wall Street Journal. Remember what I said, stock market, money. Now you're getting it. McMahon used his own money to pay off the former employee, and according to the report, with an upfront payment of $1 million and another $2 million to be paid out over 5 years. But they're also saying that whatever this woman and Vince McMahon did was consensual. So my thing is, if it's consensual, what's the problem? I'm sorry. I know some of y'all might think, wow, damn, kid, that's harsh. That's harsh. No, it's not harsh. If it's consensual, obviously she didn't mind getting that $3 million from Vinnie Mac. She didn't mind messing with that genetic jackhammer. She didn't mind that. Or his grapefruits. She didn't mind that shit. She was a paralegal, former employee. She got fired back in 2019 or 2020, whenever the whole can't say the virus's name because you know what I'm talking about. So I think she got let go then. So Vince kept paying her money. Now the funny, interesting in this is the John Laurinaitis thing. And I know that he is not liked by a lot of people backstage. And I don't even like him. Johnny Ace, he really don't treat women very well. And that's been evident. Past women that have been with that company have pretty much have put him on blast. Now, if you go on to the dirt sheets of wrestling like SE Scoops or WrestleZone or Wrestle Inc., they all come on there and they go, well, here's what's happening. Vince is going to be on SmackDown tonight, and some of the talent isn't happy about it. How the hell do you know if the talent is happy about it or not? Why, do you have sources backstage like some drunk security, some big fat security guard is probably telling you, hey, heard for the grapevine, I heard Roman Reigns tell Paul Heyman he ain't happy about this. You don't know. And the fact of the matter is, these dirt sheets are one of the main reasons why pro wrestling is in the shitter that it's in the first place. I'm talking to you, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez. And it's funny, Dave Meltzer called you out. I called you out a couple months ago on Twitter, and what'd you do? You blocked me because you're a homo. That's what you are. You and Brian Alvarez are the leeches of professional wrestling. You guys gotta get that Dave Meltzer 5-star rating, 4-star rating, whatever the case may be. Like, honestly, the way I see it is, if it is consensual, if the reports are true that it is consensual, obviously there's not going to be any criminal charges, but there can be. There ain't no criminal charges between the girl and Vince McMahon. However, using $3 million of his own money, if it's in his own money, again, if it's done by his own money that was not in the pocket of WWE and it wasn't used as stock money, then I'm old school. I don't see the problem. Now, it sucks for Linda McMahon. It sucks that her husband's out there um, basically messing around and she's stuck in her limbo. The McMahon family is imploding. Stephanie wanted to step down, so now she's back in. They took away NXT from Triple H. They fired Shane McMahon and after the Royal Rumble. Linda McMahon has not wanted to do anything with WWE since she tried to run for senator. What was that, senator in Connecticut, and then she was a part of Donald Trump's team when he was in the White House. She hasn't wanted anything to do with WWE since then. So the McMahon family they're imploding. Now, there's this one guy back there. They always said that not Tony Khan, but Nick Khan. That's one guy who is sitting there right now. He should be a fat kid with his hand in the cookie jar. He should be happy because while he's being groomed to be that next guy in line, he's watching the McMahon family crumble. And there he is. He can take WWE, and I heard he's very good with numbers. And there's been reports years that WWE might sell. Don't be surprised, and you may laugh at me now, but don't be surprised in the next maybe 5 years that WWE is not owned by Disney. You think I'm joking? But don't be surprised if WWE is owned by Disney. I'm not saying it can happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised. Disney is buying up everything. So why wouldn't they want a piece of? They already got Marvel. They already got Star Wars. They already got the Fox. They already got Fox. They got the Simpsons now. What's to stop them from getting WWE? Nothing. Not a damn thing. If they're still in business. Thank you for that, Prodigal Hill. If WWE is still in business in 5 years. And honestly, what was it? Roman Reigns is 37 years old right now. Roman's 37. Cody Rhodes is 37. You don't know how much these guys have left. Roman Reigns is starting to get looked at by Hollywood. I will not be surprised if Roman does the exact same thing that The Rock, Batista, and John Cena does. And he decides to go, you know what? I'm going to Hollywood. Adios, amigos. Randy Orton's getting up there in age. You don't know how much longer Edge can do this. And that's a scary factor. If you're a WWE fan, you should be worried. You should be. Because now, with all these combustible elements, I had to speak like JR there for a second. You should be worried. Because they're not going to have John Cena come every summer to bail them out all the time. They're not going to be able to pay. How much longer Brock Lesnar's going to do it? I mean, are you going to keep paying him $5-6 million a year for that little bit of a contract? Are you still going to keep paying Goldberg $2 or $3 million? I mean, Bobby Lashley's in his 40s. You just don't know how much longer most of these guys got. And that's the problem. Because I don't see anybody on the WWE roster right now. AJ Styles is in his 40s as well. And everybody knows that I love AJ. From his TNA days, I love AJ. But even you have to think about it from that perspective. How much longer can Charlotte Flair do it? I mean, she's done it all. How many times has she been women's champion? I if someone could tell me in the comment section, I forgot because I don't pay attention anymore, really. So, I mean, how much longer can you keep this up? I mean, I know some of you AEW fans like, well, that's okay. Nick Khan would just open up, Tony Khan would just open up his checkbook, and he would sign all these people. If Tony Khan, like, say for example, let's just say, paraphrasing, WrestleMania 40, last ever WWE event, WrestleMania 40. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's play a little bit of role play. Let's play a little bit of Russian roulette right here. Say if WWE closes its doors WrestleMania 40, which is in 2 years. They close their door. And Tony Khan's opening up his checkbook. Well, technically, he's opening up his dad's checkbook. And we all know how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are as an NFL franchise. I don't need to go in there. You football fans know exactly what I'm talking about. So what if AEW Wrestling decides, well, I'm going to open up my checkbook. And they decide, let me see if I can bring Seth Rollins here. Let me see if I can bring AJ Styles here. Oh, well, shit. Let me see if I can bring this guy here. Before you know it, AEW is going to be flooded with talent just like WCW was. And I love WCW. Do not get me wrong. You guys saw my video with Big Rim. I love WCW. Don't get me wrong. And I wish WCW was still around. But let's just paraphrase that. Because I know Roman Reigns would not go to AEW. He'll go to Hollywood or he'll retire before that happens. It would not save the business. You're absolutely right. But here's what would save the business. Let's paraphrase that. Let's play another little game. What could save the business? If WWE went out of business, what could save it? Well, some of these wrestlers decide not to go to AEW, and they decide to go to NWA. They decide to go to Impact Wrestling. That, if you want to talk about building something, if you want to talk about building that forbidden door that they're working on with New Japan right now, if you really want to go back to the territory days, if these, like, I'll tell you right now, if I was a big name in WWE right now, and I was my contract ended, or WWE went out of business, and AEW comes crawling, asking me to come, I would say no. And the reason why I would say no, because I wouldn't want to be just another guy on a roster. I wouldn't want to be that guy that's on AEW Dark or sitting there and not knowing because we already got a flooded full of but I would actually go with someone like Billy Corrigan, who's building NWA. I would go to Impact Wrestling. I would do stuff like that because I would want to help make those companies bigger and better than what they are right now. That is the goal in mind. And that's what I would tell any of these guys that ever, if WWE went out of business, I'd be like, hey, some of you are probably going to go to Hollywood like Roman Reigns and probably be successful. You know, Ronda Rousey will probably retire and not have anything to do with wrestling again. And she would go and do, she will basically, she's done Hollywood before. So she's not going to be hurting. She's not hurting. So there's two right there. Brock's not hurting. Brock can care fucking less. It's all about the money for Brock. And Goldberg could care less. He wouldn't need the money. Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, those guys would not need the money. And they wouldn't. They can go right back. They can go right back to where they started. If I'm someone like Drew McIntyre and I'm someone like AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley, and WWE went under tomorrow, those three have a spot wherever they want to go. AJ might go to AEW, but AJ's got his Christian faith. So AJ Styles has got his. He's not a very TV 14 kind of guy. So he's got his little. That's one of the reasons why he went to WWE, is because the whole PG rating. And I read that in the interview with him. So you look at some of these guys that they have on there. You could possibly. AEW would possibly try to get Seth Rollins. They'll try to get Becky. But honestly, most of that roster, if they were smart, they would go to NWA, or they would go to New Japan, or they would go to Impact Wrestling to slowly build those companies up so we can have those territories and those locals built again, so we can rebuild professional wrestling where it was at. But anyways, post your comments down below. What do you guys think about this whole Vince McMahon shenanigans? Are you surprised? Do you think he's guilty, not guilty? Post your comments down below. I'm Big Kev. This is my world, and you're just living in it.